Have you ever tried propagating a rubber plant and felt like it takes forever to grow roots? Well, I did too. So I decided to do a little experiment to finally find out which method works faster, water propagation or soil propagation. Rubber plants are absolutely gorgeous. Those big glossy leaves can make any corner of your home look alive. But when it comes to propagation, they can really test your patience. So I wanted to see which method gives faster and healthier results. And honestly, the outcome surprised me. Setting up the experiment. It all started with my own rubber plant, a super healthy one, with thick green leaves shining in the morning light. And that's the first most important thing when propagating. Always choose a healthy mother plant. The healthier your parent plant, the higher the success rate for your cuttings. Avoid propagating a weak or diseased plant because unhealthy tissue often carries infections that spread quickly in most environments like water or soil. So I cleaned my pruning shears with rubbing alcohol to make sure they were germ-free. This step might sound small, but it prevents fungal or bacterial infections that can ruin your cuttings before they even start rooting. Once everything was clean, I made the cut, leaving some leaves at the bottom of the plant so it could regrow. The sap started oozing out, that white latex-like liquid, and if you've handled rubber plants before, you know it's sticky. Always wear gloves or wash your hands right after handling the sap. It can irritate your skin. Preparing the cuttings. Now this part is crucial, where you cut. I made sure each cutting had at least one node. That's the small joint where leaves or branches grow from. Here is the science behind it. Nodes contain merismatic tissue, which is a group of active plant cells capable of turning into both roots and shoots. So, if you don't have a node, your cutting might grow roots, but it will never grow into a full plant. Always make your cut just below a node, because that's where root initiation happens faster. After cutting, I rinsed each piece under running water to remove the sap. Some people prefer to leave the cuttings aside for a few hours to callus. That means letting the cut end dry a bit to prevent rot. I decided not to do that step. This time I wanted to test if skipping it made any difference. Then I took out my sacred weapon, rooting hormone powder. It's inexpensive and so helpful for cuttings that are slow to root. I dipped the bottom of each cutting into the powder. I will drop an associate link to buy if you're interested. Rooting hormone doesn't guarantee success, but it speeds up root initiation and reduces rot risk by sealing the cut end slightly. Planting in soil. I had 5 cuttings ready for soil propagation. 4 were leaf cuttings with nodes and 1 was a thicker main stem cutting. I planted them in a well-draining potting mix, a combination of garden soil, perlite and coco peat. The mix was light, airy and moist, perfect for root development. When placing a cutting, always keep the top part of the node above the soil so that roots form below and new growth can sprout from the top. After planting, I watered them lightly, not too much. Keep the soil moist but not soggy. Overwatering suffocates the roots, while letting the soil dry out completely can dehydrate the cutting. Propagation in water. Now for the fun part, the water propagation. I placed 4 cuttings with nodes and 2 single leaf cuttings without nodes in clean pots of water. Use room temperature filtered or rainwater if possible and avoid using chlorinated tap water directly. I did not change the water for the first 10 days, then started replacing it weekly to prevent algae buildup. All the pots were kept in a bright but shaded spot, no direct sunlight. because that could overheat the water and damage the tender roots. Waiting and observing. Now came the part every plant lover knows too well. Waiting. Every few days I would check on them like a curious kid, and finally after about 2 weeks I noticed something magical. Tiny white roots beginning to appear in the water. Those little roots looked so delicate and beautiful. By day 27, the water cuttings had grown long, strong and healthy roots. It felt amazing to see life literally growing from a small cutting. All the water propagated cuttings with nodes rooted perfectly. But as expected, the leaf-only cuttings without nodes failed to grow any roots. Always include a node if you want your cutting to grow into a complete plant, not just stay as a rooted leaf. Checking the soil cuttings. After 27 days, I decided to dig up the soil cuttings to see what was happening beneath the surface. And here's what I found. Some had started forming roots, but they were very small and slow. The leaves still looked green and healthy, which was a good sign. But the growth rate was nowhere close to the ones in water. One of the cutting had completely rotted, so I had to discard it. Even the main thick stem cutting, which I thought would root faster, had almost no roots. Just a few tiny ones starting to form. This clearly showed me that soil propagation for rubber plants is much slower and riskier, especially in humid conditions where fungus can develop easily. Final conclusion and reflection. So, here's what I've learned. Water propagation is faster and more reliable for rubber plants. Roots are visible, so you can monitor growth. There is less chance of rot if you change the water weekly. Meanwhile, soil propagation can work, but it takes longer and requires precise moisture control. Now that I know this, I moved all my soil cuttings into water so they can catch up. I will keep updating you on their progress in future videos. This experiment taught me more than just plant science. It reminded me that growth takes time, patience, and consistency. Sometimes, even if the process looks slow, nature surprises you when you least expect it. If you enjoyed this experiment, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your plant-loving friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more propagation and plant care experiments.